instability in many of the country's coalition-led municipalities are raising concerns and rather questions about their sustainability. Just last week, the DA-led coalition government in the city of Johannesburg collapsed. There's also a looming vote of no confidence against the mayor of the ANC-led coalition in eThekwini. Now, the EFF has recently cut ties with the IFP-led coalitions in KwaZulu-Natal. Municipal IQ Managing Director Kevin Allan joins us to help us make sense of it all and also just to foresee how exactly it could look like nationally should the votes tear towards a coalition. Kevin, thank you so much for your time and good morning to you. What do you make of all the events taking place in different municipalities? eThekwini rather, in KwaZulu-Natal, Johannesburg. We've just seen the collapse of, that coalition with the DA-led Mpopaletse being ousted. Motions of no confidence are the order of the day, but what do you make of what we see?
Morning, Taylor, and to your viewers. Quite frankly, it's becoming quite problematic. I mean, we actually seeing quite serious destabilization in a number of our metros, and it looks like that may filter down now with threats by the EFF last week into a number of other local councils as well, specifically IFP-run councils in KwaZulu-Natal. So at Municipal IQ, we're quite concerned about it, I must say.
What do you think informs, the disorder, the chaos, the instability, the, I suppose, a lack of working togetherness when it comes to these different political parties? I mean, if they agreed initially to get into a coalition, what happened along the way in terms of us seeing the instability that we're seeing right now?
Well, we've seen, the exploitation of a loophole in our democracy here, or democracy, and which has resulted in democracy being turned on its head. So the biggest problem is a lack of discipline amongst parties to stick to their word in terms of coalition agreements. I'm not sure what we're going to do about it, but I think we're getting to a stage where there's going to have to be national intervention in terms of either policy regulation or indeed perhaps legislation to stabilize the situation, because we can't continue to live with this constant instability in local government because of the action of a number of individuals who can't stick by agreements that they've made. I mean, it really is destabilizing municipalities. We've seen in Joburg now that a number of issues have happened. It's not only that we have a situation now where parties that were elected representing people are no longer have that much power. In Joburg, our mayor represents less than 1% of the voters who voted in the last election less than a year ago, in 2021. And our speaker, a very important position in council, her party represents 0.2% of voters. So the two most important positions, most powerful positions on council, that of speaker and mayor, represent 1.1% of voters in the council. I mean, it's crazy.
And Kevin, as you're speaking, I just wonder, I mean, oftentimes political parties emphasize over and over again how they have the best interests of the residents at heart, how much of a good political representative they are compared to their opponent. With the instability we're seeing right now in our municipalities, is that reflective? Do they have the best interests of residents at heart, or is it more self-interest in terms of staying in power and keeping power politically?
Yes, that's an excellent question. I think it really speaks to the heart of the issue here, is what is happening with the running of Joburg and who actually does have the best interests of the people of Joburg at heart. I don't think any political party at the moment represented on the city of Joburg, on city council, can claim to have the best interests of the people of Joburg at heart. I don't think anyone has covered themselves in glory. I think the main parties, the ANC, the DA, and to an extent the EFF, and then a number of smaller parties, have really shown a lot of self-interest. They've been very mercenary in the way they've dealt with issues in council. It's become clear that the ANC will stop at nothing, stop at absolutely nothing to overturn any coalition that doesn't include it, and will stop at nothing to gain some power. It will compromise on absolutely everything. Now, the Speaker's position, as it's occupied at the moment, as well as the Mayor's position, that has been completely orchestrated by the ANC. So the ANC, and in an alliance with the EFF, have completely orchestrated the situation where we have 1.1% of voters represented by the Mayor and the Speaker.
Right.
What we're seeing as well is that very necessary work in Joburg, in the administration, is being ignored, or is in some cases actually being ambushed and stopped. So there's a 2 billion rand loan, which is very necessary to stop a cash crisis in the work of the city of Joburg at the moment, a loan by the DBSA. It's been approved by the DBSA, but the DBSA needs this to go through Joburg Council. That loan, the work necessary for that to go through council, that has been stopped by the ANC and the EFF. That's been stopped for a number of months now.
And I suppose, Kevin, with time running out, that's just reflective of some of the gaps, right, that we're seeing when it comes to our municipalities and where coalitions fit. Unfortunately, I have to leave it there due to time.